Ladies and gentlemen, lovers of war, traders of great renown, I, the Strategic Indian, bid you welcome to my channel, where our motto is think, practice thinking. If you like the content, please do not forget to like and subscribe. Also, leave a comment, which will greatly help with the almighty YouTube algorithm. In today's episode, to ensure the security of the Western Roman Empire, we shall be burning down the Netherlands for the following reasons.
Alright, Gold member. Don't play the laughing boy. There are only two things I can't stand in this world. People who are intolerant of other people's cultures, and the Dutch.
What?
First, although it lies below the sea level, its industrial people have rendered it immune to global warming. Second, while being the 134th largest country by size, it is the world's second largest food producer. Its fantastic human-centric infrastructure, social security net, free healthcare, their friendly, tall, sixth most happy people in the world. Fourth, highest concentration of museum which immortalizes the works of greats like Vincent van Gogh, MC Escher, Rembrandt, etc., etc., etc. And finally, their world-famous Gouda cheese. Yes, that is how you pronounce it. Gouda. Gouda. The Frankish homeland, guarded by two armies and a garrison, shall not be able to withstand Roman heavy infantry. Our navy was sent in as a support role, but stood outside the classroom like a naughty backbencher in a Catholic-run school in India. Next, we shall liberate the Mauryan faction from their pathetic existence. Reduced to a battered army, a wounded admiral, and one poultry town, they have lived on borrowed time long enough. By occupying their town, we will be completely controlling the extremely profitable province of Mauritania. This province, although bereft of any resources, has 3 ports, which when built up can easily make it one of our top 5 money-making provinces of our empire. Finally, for the namesake of the episode, we shall stand as a rock wall against the stunted Lombards who serve as an inspiration for the dwarves. The Lombards will try to reach Hogwarts through platform 9 3/4, but are going to be stopped by a non-magical wall of Roman heavy infantry barring their path. The following is an accurate reconstruction of the events. I apologize in advance if that depiction is simply too graphic. We pick up from the last time, whereby we were besieging the last Frankish city of Flavum. There are 2 armies and a garrison, and we have to ensure that the incoming army is completely destroyed so that it cannot escape and become a horde. We are attacking the city of Flavum, which is the modern day city of Flavoland. Let's get to it. As always, we will begin on a dry, beautiful sunny day. We can see the enemy is entering from the right hand side. We could have positioned our starting army over there to basically act as a plug between the reinforcements and the city garrison, but it's okay. We'll let these 2 armies join together. They will join together and we're going to beat them together. So as always, our first step is to move our 1 comitatense spears forward behind their palisades so that we can throw torches. Our navy has come in, but as it will get really hectic, we are not going to involve it in the fight. We are going to just keep them out of range of tower fire or arrow fire. So as we can see, our comitatense spears has finally reached. They are already under fire from the archer. So this is where it gets a bit difficult because you have to balance a lot of things. There are 2 towers which are firing on the comitatense spears and also 2 archer units which are firing. While this comitatense spear has to throw torches at this at this tower. So you can see that the archers are actually working in unison. One of them is firing in an arch, while the other is firing in a parabola parallel to the ground. So this one competency spears will have a pretty rough day, but yeah, we'll have to live with it. So since we have a lot of units in this particular competency spears, we are going to be able to ignite the tower quite fast. We'll just have to take all of these arrows. They are firing a bit of a parabola, so some of it is getting stopped by the fence. So as soon as I have set this tower on fire, I immediately go into testudo. And if they're firing in an arch, then even if you get in testudo, it's still pretty punishing. So only when they're firing in a parabola parallel to the ground and you are in testudo, then that is it's possible to be in testudo and survive it. So we're trying to reform the testudo, but this unit is a bit out of position, and this is critical that everybody is coming out of the city. So we actually hoped that we would be able to have them inside the city while we move one of our projectile units forward and slowly whittle down their numbers. So now we are actually forced to move forward rapidly. So we are moving our competency spears to a block. Our pikes are moving up to catch them in place, and their Heerban units are coming forward, and this is a very dangerous unit, so we don't have anything to actually counter this unit. So what we're going to do is we're going to send this weak competency spears forward to engage the Heerban. Meanwhile, we'll send our horses to do a hammer and anvil charge. We see one of their salient Frankish lancers has come out, so we'll send competency spears to directly go after it. The spears will be able to make short work of the lancers if they don't get charged. So we will also engage the salient lancers with our projectile units. So our infantry has moved up, and it is able to catch up with their infantry which are coming out of the city. We have sent our cavalry forward directly to fight their outcoming lancers on the right flank. So we send our second horse unit to support the first one. Meanwhile, we are going to move our projectile units on the left so that they can just fire uninterruptedly at the infantry as they come up. There. So we have got on the right flank cavalry superiority, so we have made a cocoon.
Men have given up and are running for their lives.
We have to make sure that our projectile units can fire at peace, and then they don't get entangled by the Heerban and the general unit and the enemy javelins, which are almost out, or which are out of ammo. So we try to do as much damage while we hold. One of our cavalry has run away. It's fine, so we send the general over there to help our single remaining unit of cavalry. We pull back our projectiles. They are already getting hammered by the archers within the city, so we couldn't use our competency spears to waste the ammunition of the enemy, because yeah, they were under a lot of murderous fire from two towers, two archers, each doing their different form of attacks. So right now we have got cavalry superiority. All of their cavalry has dissolved, and we are going to now swing our axes also around and slowly start hacking at their infantry, which has now been held into position by the anvil of Roman heavy infantry and the pikes. So this is actually ideal, so things are just going as per clockwork. We're going to send one of the horses into their city to cause maximum consternation and just make sure that their archers keep on running backwards and don't take off pot shots. We are going to send one of our raider cavalry in to attack. No, we didn't, because yeah, that general, there is no point, because our projectiles are giving a hammer blow to the general over there. So right, so I changed my mind. I actually did the charge. Okay. Yeah, so the first army we don't actually care about. Any unit which runs away, we don't have to do any mop-up because this is the garrison. You can see the second army is moving in. Our main goal is to cause moral penalties by taking out their general. So that's their general is beginning to waver and run. Our axes are doing a fantastic job. There, we got the general.
Cut him down! The general has been killed! Excellent!
Got him! Got him!
Everybody's beginning to waver, so the garrison entirely ran away. We then reformed to welcome the second army, which is now coming in. There again they have a mercenary ex-Heerbarn, a very dangerous unit. So we're going to put our projectiles and our axes on the flank to welcome them. Meanwhile, we present our pikes to the enemy to basically provide them a wall of steel. So their axes don't do very well against the pike, so we send our general in. Their general is trying to make up its mind to do what, whether it would go for our projectile units or it should go after our pike line. So the mercenary Heerbarn is in a lot of trouble. We have placed our axe units in the middle in such a way that we can choose what the situation is. Because over here the general is in a lot of trouble and not chasing our projectile units, we are just going to focus our axes on any unit which is going to run away. So here we have to make sure that none of these units are able to run away. There, we got all of these, so the second army outside of the city is destroyed and the garrison itself is destroyed. We're gonna loot it for 1,003 gold. Right, we're gonna force march this army back towards friendly territory. It stands in a very dangerous position, so right now I'm a bit worried that okay, let's first burn down the Frankish city. So there goes the Netherlands, burnt to the ground. Look at all of that fertile land being burnt to the ground. This is a very beautiful mechanic of Attila. That's why I love this game. You can't do this in Warhammer. Right. Great. So the Franks had one army, one fleet in the middle of the sea. It's also tiresome. Sometimes it's just so tiresome to play as the Western Roman Empire. They could have just been in their city and been destroyed, but no. Well, the Geats and the Jutes have become great friends. They had a little war. One of them is a tributary state of the other. Fine. Okay, we're going to go for the Mauryan Town. So this will be a fleet taking on their garrison. Remember, their garrison will be full, but their admiral is very weak, their army has been battered, and we came in right after they went back reeling, so they didn't have any chance. So the way to do this fight, it's a very boring fight. It's just a bunch of reloading your ammunition one after another. It's mind-numbingly, stultifyingly boring. So all you have to do is put your projectile ships near the shore and hope that these units come in piecemeal while your artillery ship is going to take out the tower. So I would recommend that you go to the description and just listen to this beautiful song made by Yashraj Mukhate called Boring Day. So yeah, this is a very boring 28 minutes fight. I think a better use of your time is to just go and listen to the song on loop. Rather than watch this fight. So I'm gonna just cut it. All I had to do is just wait for them to come near the shore and just hammer them with projectiles. Spawns here. So right now our tactical situation is that 2 out of the 3 desert factions are eliminated. So there, the Getuli and the Mauryans are out. The only remaining desert faction is the Garamantians, who are actually doing nothing. They're just sitting in place. So final check, we are at war with everybody. We go through each of our armies, we go through our provinces, so make sure you do that before you hit the end turn. You do the recruitments, money permitting. We are not going to build any buildings because, yeah, we don't have any money. The Ebdanians are going to be pirates now, so there they go. It's the pirate life for them. Alans are far away. We Entians have their hands full. Ostrogoths, okay, so they have only one stack left. Vandals, they are scared because they are in between a rock and a very hard place. Visigoths come in for an attack. And we are going to withdraw. May the Emperor protect us and they cannot come and catch us. This is the beauty of the Danube. Whenever you have to cross these tributaries, you lose all of your movement points. So even if they can come and reach up to you, they won't be able to come and catch up. So I see that the Visigoths are no longer a horde. So probably they captured a city. See, they tried to come at us, but the Emperor's hand was protecting us and our army is safe. The Lombards are coming in. This is a very competent army, because they come with a lot of tier 2 units, especially the Lombard clubmen. That's nothing to be joked about. They're coming in from two directions. This is how we're going to do our deployment. Our comitatensi spears are going to be at an angle so that our levis amateur can just fire at them at peace, while our general and a cohort is going to block off the other end. Our cavalry are going to hide. I like to keep the comitatensi spears in this manner at an angle so that there is a clear shot from our levis amateur at the incoming units. So all projectile units, they fire at a Gaussian curve, so they will fire really well towards the center of the mean, and most of their shots, so 99.9% of their shots, are going to be within 3 standard deviations of their mean. So this is how you want to arrange it so that they can get most of the shots out. And if you have your unit facing them with their shields, then they are not going to get hurt, while the enemy is going to have their backs and their sides turned towards our troops, and they are going to get hammered. Our cohorts, we are going to place their legios now on the rampart so that they can throw their projectiles. Our general will be very near to this one cohort because we did not upgrade it for money. The legio is from the garrison. It will be supported by the archers who are going to try to take pot shots of the enemy as they come in. The enemy which is coming in from the side of the general is very dangerous because these are all sword units, while the enemy coming in with the enemy general are all spears. So our cohorts, our legio will be able to make short work of them, and hopefully we can kill their general. So they come in. The young wolves also are very dangerous units because they can encourage the others. They scare everybody around them, especially Roman infantry are scared very easily. We have 2 archers which we will have to deal with 2 of our cavalry. We hide our cavalry so that the AI forgets about it. Meanwhile, the general stays very near in stationary testudo and will give braceability to our infantry as they come in. We're going to ensure that the legio fires at the last moment. The Langobard clubmen are their most dangerous unit because that's a tier 2 unit, and right now all we have are tier 1 Roman infantry. For some reason, I don't know why we didn't do very well against freemen, against the scavenger mobs. It was very strange. I expected cohorts to hold their own against, say, freemen. Cohorts against scavenger mobs. Yeah, that's a spear unit against one of our swords. I don't know why they couldn't hold their own. But anyways, they did. So here we will try to get the legios out of testudo till the last moment so that they can fire projectiles. There, you can see that they're throwing their projectiles at the dense mass of infantry which is coming in. We are going to activate our hidden resources, which are our cavalry, so they are going to move in to try to take out both of these archers, because yeah, we don't want these archers to have a free time and just fire and get free shots. Our archers are going to start firing with precision shot. Young wolves are going to be priority because they are the nearest. So here come our cavalry boys. Here it's a bit hard to charge with your cavalry because of all of these vineyards. Your cavalry are constantly getting entangled by that vineyards, so you can't get good charges off in this map. Right, we ration one cavalry per archer unit of theirs. We open our cohorts to throw their projectiles. Cohorts throw their projectiles straight because they have got javelins. They don't have pili like the legios. We had to involve the legios in the fight on the right flank. Our leves amaturae are going to work, already racking up 100 kills. So here, because the general is exposed, we won't be able to pull off a nice hammer and anvil because we won't be able to get momentum. The general is really quite nearby, and with so many entanglements, it's really difficult to get the good charges off. So we're going to reposition our leves amaturae. Always keep an eye on them because they like to just walk towards the enemy because they don't have much range. So they try to close, and then if the enemy that they were fighting on moves 1 centimeter, then they move like 1 meter towards them to catch up to them. So our left flank is holding. The enemy swords are not able to perform very well because there is not that much space for them to enter. Our legios are doing a fantastic job. Our leves amaturae are racking up the kills. One of the leves amaturae is not doing a very good job because it's permanently out of position. Meanwhile, the other one has already killed 200 people. So there are good and bad placements. So we are going to move the legios back because there is no point them taking some spears, some javelins from the leves amaturae, and we're going to use them only at the moments when we critically need them. So we can see that the enemy is charging our leves amaturae. We're going to pull back, and our legios are going to arrest their movement. We always keep an eye. Our scout equities got caught by the general, so we're going to pull back over there. So always keep an eye, constantly scan what's going on. Right, one of our leves amaturae has finished with their ammunition, so we're going to send them over to the left flank, very close to the general, because that the units which are on the left flank are constantly getting scared by the Langobard infantry. So having numbers nearby, even if they are not doing anything, will always help. So that's why 160 men of the leves amaturae, who are actually not going to fight, but they're going to stand nearby and give a morale boost to cancel off morale debuff from the Langobard clubmen and the scaled and the young wolves. So we don't charge on the left flank because their spears got ready. So be prepared to pull off charges. It's better to not charge rather than do a bad charge and then try to pull off, because you get a lot of debuff from entanglement. So if the enemy entangles your unit while you try to pull out, they will get additional number of kills. So we send our scout equities to stand in place and throw their limited ammunition. Our garrison competency spears is dissolving. Great job, guys. Fantastic job. They just held the enemy in place while the leves amaturae did its job. We are now going to try to do a few no, we're going to just pull our cavalry, and because our scout equities still has some mop up to do, so I'm going to send one of the scout equities over to the left flank to support. Now our right flank, they are able to enter into the stronghold, so we're going to give ground very gradually, and we're going to make the legios punish whichever infantry is going to come in. So we pulled our scout equities back to make sure that their infantry gets easy targets, and then they come towards it, and our legios can continue work on the left flank. So lure the enemy from time to time, then they get they see an easy target and they go for it. Meanwhile, your infantry can take out their units piecemeal. We're going to reposition. Another cul-de-sac is going to be made so that our levis amateur can continue firing. So we going to reposition over here. We see that we won't be able to get it off, so we do a charge, because it's better to charge with our swords against their infantry which is coming in. You can see they're coming in piecemeal. Right. So here on the left flank, we go in for a charge. There we go. Come on, my children. Come on. There we go. Bam. That's a nice charge. That's a 7 out of 10 charge, because we didn't have much run up, and this city it's a bit hard to do well. Okay, so our legios are no longer doing very well against their general, so we send in our scout equities. We try to reposition. We get in just in the nick of time so that their infantry cannot tangle up our scout equities. We send our other scout equities on the right hand flank so that their archers are distracted. And now we're going to do a hammer and anvil. This is the last chance we have to kill the general. So here comes our scout equities against the general, held in place by our legios. Yeah, that's a nice charge. Oh, look at the guy go flying. Yeah, that is a good charge. That's a 9 out of 10 charge. On the left flank, we are charging their archers. Their archers are orthogonal to the path of our swords. So yeah, that was not a good charge. There wasn't enough ground or time. So I'm going to put our archers, which are done firing, near to our units, so that they can give some morale buffs to our boys who are doing a very critical fight. So we can see that general is wavering. We are going to send in our levis amateur, try to catch their general. We're going to pull our scout equities through, because their infantry has come and caught up, so they will eat our scout equities for breakfast. So we pull them through, and now we have to send them across this town, across this town stronghold, because we want to do hammer and anvil charges only. We don't want to charge from the side where our infantry is already engaging. So this is a bit of a waste of time, because we don't have an option. We have to go around. We don't, so we have put our archers behind, but they won't be able to do very much of a charge. So we are just going to try to hope that we can kill their general. That's all we can hope for. Our other scout equities are trying to whittle down the numbers of their archers. There on the right flank, we are finally winning a little bit. Their young wolves and Langobard clubmen are not doing as well, because they are still getting fired by our one tower. So they are getting some penalties. So we send in our cavalry after they have swung around. So there they come. And another short charge. This is also a good charge. This is again, I think 8.5 out of 10. This is still a good charge. So we see that their right flank, their left flank has now completely collapsed. Their general is running, their infantry is running. So we have now got some free troops. So we can decide whether we want to send them around the town and hit this infantry blob on the right flank or not. So we try to kill off their general. We send our levis amateur after their infantry. We will try to do a little bit of mop up, because we don't want this army to run away as much. So here the strategy that we're going to follow is that we're going to allow this army to run away with the minimum number of people. The reason for that is, if I completely eliminate this army back in their capital, because I have not yet destroyed it, this is not a horde, they are going to immediately start hiring a general, and that army is going to start replenishing their numbers. If I leave this army alive, then this army is going to hobble back, say in 2 turns, to their capital. Then it's going to start recruiting units. So I get 2 extra turns where they are not recruiting. So it's in my interest not to completely mop up this army and completely leave no one alive. Right? So as you can see, only 13 people in their general unit has escaped. So they don't get a free general, so they don't get 160 out of 160 men fresh Germanic noble unit. They get this army is now going to hobble back to the capital, and then it's going to start making recruiting units. And because they have 1 settlement, they can maximum have 2 armies. Later, if they do a bit of research, then they can have some improved imperium and get 3 armies. So it's in our interest to make sure that this army hobbles back. Alright. Garamantians have come to raid into our territory. It's no problem. We have the emperor over here. Huns. Let's hope they don't go to the... Yes, great. They come to Savario. Here we have a garrison. We have an army nearby. Okay, this is great. The Balkans are saved. This is a miracle of the Balkans. I fixed the Balkans. I did it. Eastern Roman Empire. Yeah. Cruise, as always. Bastarnians are coming in. The Gepids are going back to lick their wounds. Markomans. Yeah. Markomans are now coming in to attack our... fortified army, but that will be it for this turn. We stood like a rock wall. We went out of our way and we hit the enemy really hard. 2 factions had almost completely, their powers have been eroded. This Macromanic army has got 1 horse unit, and for the first time we have cavalry superiority. So please stick around for the next turn, because then I'm going to show you how to use a cavalry heavy army. This is what I really enjoy. I have cavalry superiority. I'm going to destroy their cavalry and I'm going to take these guys for a ride. Again, we won't destroy the army completely, and we will let them retreat, and then they will have to go back and recruit armies slowly. But this will be it for this turn. I hope to see you again for the next episode. Thank you and goodbye. This has been the Strategic Indian signing out.